welcome to Talk Fights. I'm Curtis Biggs. I'm joined again by my brother, Adam Biggs. And we want to talk about the upcoming UFC in 2 weeks. It is UFC 273. The main event is Alexander the Great Volkanovski versus the Korean Zombie Chang Sung-young. The co-main event is Peter Yan versus Aljamain Sterling. Both of these fights are for world titles, and they should be absolutely fantastic. We're very excited.
Yeah, there's a lot of great fights on the undercard as well, but the two headlining fights are huge.
Definitely. Now we have some really bad blood in the co-main event with Peter Yan versus Aljamain Sterling. In their previous fight, there was an illegal knee, and Aljamain Sterling stated that he was unable to continue and was therefore awarded the win, awarded the championship on a no contest. The first time this has ever happened in the UFC. Peter Yan is not very happy about it. I think he's going to be coming real hard trying to get that belt back, trying to really make a statement that the first time was a fluke, the accidental knee was an accident, and that Peter Yan was on his way to winning that fight anyway.
Yeah. I think Peter Yan was unhappy, just like everybody else who watched that fight. I personally thought he was winning, hands down. Nobody's questioning that it was an illegal knee. Yep, you got that. But it was the acting performance by Aljamain Sterling.
Yep.
I made my position known several times before.
Sure.
That we don't like. The throwing the belt away and then 2 minutes later being like, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, you're right. There is some bad blood with this fight. And Aljamain's looking to prove that he deserves to be the champion.
Right.
Peter Yan's looking to prove that, no, you don't. That's my belt.
Yeah, absolutely. So it should be very interesting when these two collide. I'm very, very excited. Now, I expect Peter Yan to come in really hard. I think he definitely is going to want to make that statement. They don't call him No Mercy, for nothing. I expect he's going to come in there and really give No Mercy to Aljamain Sterling. I don't think he's going to throw caution to the wind and probably just be out there throwing bombs. I think he'll definitely be a measured pace and doing things with thought, not doing things just out of nowhere again, not just throwing bombs. But I do expect him to come in hard.
But he's ferocious, though, right? So absolutely. I mean, even with doing that, like you said, it's going to be precise shots, but he's pretty ferocious, so he's going to be throwing bombs even when he's not throwing bombs.
I think so. I think he will be. I'm expecting the first or second round knockout for Peter Yan against Aljamain Sterling in this rematch.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think we talked about it. He's got bad blood. He's got a lot to prove right now after losing his belt, and I would agree that an early stoppage, first maybe second round TKO or KO for Peter Yan for sure. For sure.
I mean, the biggest thing I think is going to be Peter Yan keeping Sterling from taking him down. On the feet, Sterling's not going to be able to do a lot to Peter Yan. As you say, he is ferocious. He's a ferocious striker, and he's very skilled. He's a very educated striker. He switches stances from southpaw to orthodox often, even in mid combination. He's a very tricky guy to deal with, and very strong, and has a lot of will, a lot of reason to want to win this fight. And I expect him to do that. Again, I'm seeing a first or second round knockout from Peter Yan.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, the main event should be great. We have Alexander the Great Volkanovski versus the Korean Zombie, Chang Sung-young. Both guys very tough. Alexander the Great Volkanovski has really been a good champion, and I think he's going to be a tough guy for the Korean Zombie to dethrone. I think this is a difficult fight for Korean Zombie. I think it's a bad fight on paper. Korean Zombie is a little bit small. He's a little bit taller, but he's a little bit smaller. Just his build, and he's known for taking a lot of punches. And I don't suspect he's going to be able to take those punches from Alexander Volkanovski.
Well, like we talked about before, he was 21-1, right? So if he lost early in his career, he's dominated everybody since then. I think you're absolutely right. On paper, this is a bad fight for the Korean Zombie. However, I like his pressure. Obviously, his chin is unquestionable, right? I mean, he's been stopped before, like we talked about Yair Rodriguez, that huge elbow. So he can be stopped. But I mean, he's obviously just like zombie. Keeps going
absolutely.
Forward. Keeps
and
going
he's a tough
forward.
dude. I mean, he's gonna win over Frankie Edgar. He's gonna win over Corey Sandhagen. He's gonna win over
Dustin Poirier.
Dustin Poirier. He submitted Dustin Poirier early in his career. He knocked out Canadian Mark Hominick. I mean, this guy's no joke. Now, Alexander Volkanovski, I think, is just at a different level. And I think, he's got 2 wins over Max Holloway. He's got wins over everybody in the division. He really knocked out, really beat up Aldo.
Ortega.
Yeah, he beat up Ortega. Yeah, that was a wild fight, going back and forth, but it really had Ortega's number, I thought, in that fight for the most
Well, for me, I think there was a point where Ortega had his back and almost had him, and just how calm he was in that made a big difference for me, right? Like, that changed my mind on how great of a fighter he really was.
Yeah, it was wild. It was a crazy fight. It was a great fight. I don't know that the Korean Zombies got what it takes to beat a guy like Alexander the Great and Volkanovski. I just don't see it. Now, is Volkanovski going to be able to get on top of him and hit him with those punches that the Korean Zombie in past fights has been open for? I think that he will. In his last fight, he lost the decision to Brian Ortega, and we talked about that wild fight between Ortega and Volkanovski. I don't think that Zombie brings to the table the same things that Ortega brings to the table, and Volkanovski was able to get the best of Ortega, despite it being a very tough fight.
Yeah.
I expect he will do the same thing to the Korean Zombie. I think he's going to stop him. I think he's going to stop him mid-fight. I'm going to say a 3rd round TKO for Alexander Volkanovski.
I think it's going to end up going decision. I think Volkanovski is going to get the better of him. He's going to be able to land the cleaner shots, the bigger power shots, and I think he's going to get the decision.
Yeah. Anything can happen, right? I mean, it should be great, though. 2 title fights, both very exciting. We've got ultra tough guys both holding the titles. Yeah. And very tough guys kind of trying to take those titles. So that should be great.
We got Gilbert Burns and Kazmat Chimaev.
Yeah, Chimaev. Yeah, that's another great fight. Chimaev is undefeated.
10-0.
10-0. All 10 fights by finish, both either submission or the knockout.
Gilbert Burns is his biggest test.
Gilbert Burns is a tough guy, though. Gilbert Burns is a very difficult test for Chimaev. And I think this is going to show what he's made of. I think it's going to show if he's for real or not. The 10 wins he's got, not against really marquee guys. Tough guys, certainly, but nobody that's top 5.
This is, like you said, this is definitely his biggest test. I mean, you don't want to discount the competition he's fought before, but it's not at the level that Gilbert Burns is.
Absolutely. This is going to be, it should be interesting. It should be interesting to see what he's got. And it should be a fun fight to watch. Gilbert Burns is very tough, always coming at you. And Chimaev, he's got a lot to prove. He's got that undefeated record to trying to hold on to. Yeah. So it should be good. And then you said we have mentioned we have Tai Tuivasa and Jazeera Rosenstruck.
No. Marcin Tybura.
Marcin Tybura, pardon me.
I wish it was Tuivasa again because I love watching him fight. He's been crushing people lately.
Yeah, he's
fun to watch.
But yes, we have Marcin Tybura and Jazeera Rosenstruck, which should be another great fight. 2 big dudes throwing heavy leather. It should be great. It should be very exciting.
Yeah, I look forward to it.
Absolutely. That is UFC 273, and we will be watching. See you at the fights.
All right. My secret power is sadness. You knew it. Oh, throwing gloves, dirty pool.